everyone, welcome back again to my channel. Before watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Now let's start this video. Maritime law enforcement and compliance in Indonesia, problems and recommendation. Like most coastal states, Indonesia is faced with a need to protect, conserve, and manage its marine and coastal resources. 26.5% of the Indonesian gross national product was derived from the utilization of coastal and marine resources in 2002. Fish and other marine resources make a significant contribution to the supply of food, employment, and foreign exchange. More than 60% of animal protein consumed by the population is derived from the fishery sector, and per capita consumption was estimated to be 21.7 kilograms per year in 2002. Employment in the primary fishing sector was roughly 1,805,470 people, and export exceeded import by just over $1.6 million in 2000. The aim of this paper is to address problems of maritime law enforcement and compliance in Indonesia with particular reference to the management of marine and coastal resources, especially coral reefs. The paper supports a model of community-based law enforcement for the management of coastal and coral reefs in Indonesia. It argues that community-based enforcement integrated into a participatory co-management approach is an appropriate model for effective coral reef management at the village level. Maritime legislation in Indonesia evolved from the old maritime regulation of the colonial government of Netherlands Indies. The old colonial laws were replaced by the new law to meet changing maritime requirements. To date, Indonesia has several maritime laws that relate to the management of marine and coastal activities. These include ocean jurisdiction claims, Act No. 6, 1996 concerning Indonesian waters, Act No. 5, 1983 concerning Indonesian exclusive economic zone, Act No. 1, 1973 concerning Indonesian continental shelf, ocean activities and pollution prevention, Act No. 5, 1992 concerning cultural material preservation, Act No. 21, 1992 concerning shipping, Act No. 22 of 2001 concerning oil and natural gas, Fishery and Marine Resources Management, Act No. 9, 1985 concerning fisheries, Act No. 16, 1992 concerning quarantine of agriculture, cattle and fish, Ocean Activities and Pollution Prevention, Act No. 5, 1990 concerning conservation of biological resources and their ecosystem, Act No. 5, 1994 concerning ratification of United Nations Convention on Biological Diversity, Act No. 23, 1997 concerning environmental management, Act No. 45, 1999 concerning forestry, immigration, and customs, Act No. 9, 1992 concerning immigration, Act No. 10, 1995 concerning customs. Enforcement of Indonesia's coastal and marine resources laws and regulation is jointly the responsibility of several national government institutions. Two major departments there are Ministry of Marine Affairs and Fisheries and the Ministry of Forestry. Two directorates of the Directorate General for the Control of Marine Resources and Fisheries of the MOMAF have functions that relate to monitoring, control, and surveillance, and the enforcement of coastal and marine resources management laws and regulation, the Directorate for the Control of Marine Ecosystem, and the Directorate for the Control of Fish Resources. The control of coastal areas is one of the functions of the Directorate for the Control of Marine Ecosystem. Together with the Navy and Marine Police, this directorate conducts monitoring, control, surveillance, and enforcement within Indonesian territorial seas and offshore waters. The Directorate General of Forest Protection and Nature Conservation or DGFPN of the MOF also conduct surveillance and enforcement activities in marine protected areas. To implementation this function, both the MOMAF and the MOF have civil investigation officer called penyidik pegawai negeri sipil or PPNS who have power to investigate illegal practices in each sector. There are also other national government agencies involved in marine law enforcement. These include the State Ministry for Environment of or KLH, the Ministry of Communication and Transportation or MOCT, the Directorate General of Immigration of DGI, the Directorate General of Custom or DGC, the Indonesian Navy, and the Indonesian Police or Marine Police. A list of the central government agencies involved in maritime law enforcement in Indonesia, including the laws and regulations that provide the basis for the powers. Although the KLH does not conduct surveillance activities in marine and coastal areas, it is also one of the principal government institutions involved in coastal environmental protection and the enforcement of environmental law. Similar to the MOMAF and the MOF, the KLH also has civil investigation officer for the enforcement of environmental laws. The Indonesian Marine Police are primarily responsible for the enforcement and maritime law, drug prohibition, immigration, and other similar civil responsibilities. They have limited authority and are responsible only for surveillance and enforcement activities in insured areas. Like all armed forces in the country, the Indonesian Navy is primarily charged with responsibility for protecting national sovereignty. However, with respect to several Indonesian laws, the Indonesian Navy is also responsible for the activities of surveillance and enforcement in waters beyond the territorial sea, including the entire economic exclusive zone, and for the Indonesian flag fishing fleet on the high seas when Indonesia ratifies the UN Fish Stocks Agreement 1995. In an effort to streamline and coordinate surveillance and enforcement policies program in Indonesia waters, including the exclusive economic zone, the National Coordinating Body for Ocean Safety or Badan Koordinasi Keamanan Laut or Bakorkamla was set up in 1972. Membership of this body is composed of representatives from the Navy, Police, Customs, Ministry of Judicial Affairs, and the Attorney General Office. Indonesia currently uses sea patrols and aerial surveillance or maritime surveillance to ensure compliance with maritime laws and regulations. Aerial surveillance flights are carried out by the Indonesian Air Force or Angkatan Udara Republik Indonesia or AURI. Maritime surveillance is focused on the Indonesian exclusive economic zone and archipelagic sea lands. Aerial surveillance is an important activity in the maritime law enforcement program. However, the absence of integrated law enforcement arrangements, including the lack of a national integrated air surveillance system, has resulted in ineffective aerial surveillance in Indonesia. Data and information collected from aerial surveillance have not yet been used properly by the client's agencies, such as the MOMAF. This problem has been exacerbated by lack of funds and infrastructure, resulting in limited number of aerial surveillance operations. Most enforcement in coastal and marine areas is carried out by sea patrols. Aerial surveillance is employed only for emergency cases such as safety at sea operation, search and rescue, hot pursuit of illegal foreign fishers, and piracy. There are several different tasks for sea patrols that are currently undertaken by government agencies to enforce maritime laws and regulations. Within the territorial or coastal waters, at least two different tasks are given to sea patrols. The first is Sea Patrol focus on monitoring, control, and surveillance of fishing activities. This operation is carried out by the DGCMRF of the MOMAF, the Indonesian Navy, and the Marine Police. There are 9 MOMAF surveillance vessels used for patrolling territorial waters. Okay everyone, that's all this article today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Until the next one, bye bye.